Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Everything But the Bagel. I am your host, Kevin. Joining me today, I have Steven.
Let's go, the baby.
I,
Ooh.
I have Connor with me.
Hello.
God, that was fucking cringe.
And then I have, who wasn't here with us last week, I have Jacob.
Oh, fuck. Hello.
He finally came back from all those Digimon cards.
It was
Yep.
worth it.
Went to go buy all those Digimon
Look,
cards.
they had 12 boxes. After I got mine, they had 6. I was there like for 5 minutes. It was worth it, and
That's
I
fair.
regret nothing.
Hey, man. You did it. We're all proud of you.
No, you're not.
You won life. You beat the game.
So other than that happening, Jacob, how was the rest of your week?
Fucking bullshit, but I can't talk about it because security clearance shit.
You know, that's fair. Now that I thought about that, yeah, you can't talk about that.
Jacob works for the FBI.
He does, in fact, work for the FBI.
It's not the FBI. It's CIA.
That's even better.
He said too much.
You know what? Fair enough.
My FBI agent is
Yeah,
rolling
that's my
around in his
bad.
grave right now.
See, if I was an FBI agent, I would be Kevin's FBI agent. And I could tell you how much furry porn he watches, which is a copious amount, Kevin. You really gotta just admit it already.
Kevin,
It's not healthy.
how could you?
I'll admit to Futa, but not furry.
Seems like a very strange choice, speaking of which Fuda furry is like your main search topic. But we're not worried about that today.
Either way, Steven, how was your week?
My week was fucking hell, bro. Work was hard. Computers were down. It's fucking hot. We're in Texas. It's like 99 degrees all week.
Very fucking
Oh,
hot.
also, we had went to the lake on Sunday, and we all got
Yes, we did.
sunburned. So I was
Yes, we
I
did.
was working with this fucking I'm pretty dark. I would say I wouldn't think that my sunburn could get that bad.
I don't know about that one.
Fucking this shit was spicy.
Your face and your forearms are pretty dark. The rest of you's not pretty
I'm
Oh,
gonna
dark.
man,
slap your
shit.
back when I see you.
Let's not do that. I don't want to choose violence when I wake up that morning.
The funny thing was, I even put on sunscreen twice, and I still got
I only
sunburned.
put it on the one time. To
See,
be fair, we did see a snake. That was cool.
Yes, we
I
did.
stayed home. Because I didn't want to go
Fucking
outside.
loser.
I didn't come out sunburned out of this, so I think I won.
Yeah, but you also didn't come out with any nice childhood memories.
I'm 25.
I didn't say they were our childhood memories.
What did you do to that child? Was
I
Connor there?
Well, I wasn't. Wait, what? Wait, let's roll this back. What are you talking about?
Yeah, Connor, how
Oh,
was your
man.
week?
I didn't go to the lake and I didn't get sunburned, but it's still hot. It's Texas. Basically the same story. I've done nothing this week because I'm a productive member of society. Jacob, how was your week?
We already did that. Oh, right. E3 happened this week. I was watching a lot of that.
E3 did
Yeah,
happen.
they basically let off. I think it was Saturday or Sunday with Elden Ring.
They let off like the day before E3 started. They were like, "Hey, Elden Ring!" Everyone was hype. Everyone was like, "Oh, cool, Elden Ring!" And Bandai Namco was on last this E3, so everyone was thinking, "Oh, cool, it's gonna be great. They're gonna show so much E3 footage," and they
Yeah, we get
didn't.
more Elden Ring. Yeah, we're gonna get Elden Ring there. I
Now,
watched the Bandai Namco conference. It was like 15 minutes long, and then it ended with only one game for
House of
the-
Ashes, right?
Yeah, it was House of Ashes, but I cannot remember the name of the series it's part of.
It's like a part
But
of
it's
the
made by
Until
the-
Dawn.
Now,
stuff.
It's
Hold
the
on.
Until Dawn like games.
Yeah.
hold on. So, is Elden Ring a Soulsborne like
Yes,
game?
It
with
definitely
mounts.
is.
Okay.
You
Def-
could ride a goat.
They literally
Okay.
said it. They said you're going to die again and again and again in the trailer. It's like, oh, okay, so it's deep. It's
It
Blood
is a
Souls.
Soulsborne game. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like a weird mix between Bloodborne and Dark Souls aesthetically, which I'm super all about that. It's probably going to have more story basis to it, speaking of which they've actually brought in an actual writer in. Though I'm surprised it got anywhere with George R.R. Martin's like frequency of writing his books being terrible.
I forgot George R.R. Martin was
Oh, yeah, he is
part of
part of
this.
it.
I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
No, I mean, then it's a fucking miracle it got finished at all. If
Yeah,
he was
which-
a part of it.
Just brings
Yeah.
up questions.
Yeah, I'm surprised he still isn't working on the
good
penises
old
for it.
Georgie Porgy Pudding Pie.
See, that's a thing I don't want to think about. Because now I'm remembering the South Park episode where he's just, oh yeah, their dick's gonna be fucking.
Don't worry, the dragons are
throbbing
coming.
the entire time. Jeez,
It's gonna be
We're gonna-
great.
we're gonna get
I promise the dragons are
we're getting
coming.
dick sliders. That's all I'm gonna say. Elden Ring dick sliders.
You already pretty much use your slides as a dick slider.
The Elden Ring's a cock ring.
Oh, God.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh,
God,
dear
no.
Have you ever actually used a cock ring though?
No.
No, I don't
Well,
own one.
Tell us all about
Well.
it, Steven.
I can actually say
Oh.
yes.
Well,
Yeah, you're into BDSM shit.
yeah, yes, he is.
Yes.
That was a really magical night in Cancun, wasn't it, Kevin?
It really was. The way that this moonlight just
Just
glistened off your moist nipples.
Yep.
Stop playing
Yep.
with things near me.
My fucking all the chest hair was wet on me. It's just perfect. Covered in musk.
This is off to a
Tell me.
rocking start, guy.
While you were in Cancun, did you see any
Oh, yeah,
Texas
definitely.
senators there?
Oh god.
I did. There were a couple in my bed, and there was one on the floor.
How many senators did we see from
Fuck,
Texas?
I don't fucking know. There were a lot of dudes that came up.
There
And
can only be
No,
two.
that's U.S. senators representing Texas. That's a
That's a
slightly
lot.
different thing.
There's a lot of dudes coming up to me saying, "Hey, I'm a Texas representative." It's like, all right, get on in there. Oh, well, there's so many of you guys.
What are
You're
you
fucking
doing? We're
partying there.
14.
Oh,
What?
wait a minute.
Hold on.
Wait
I
a
don't
second.
know about that one,
I
Chief.
don't think I've ever been 14.
Oh, you were just born at 15?
Yeah, just popped out 15 years
At
old.
age 6, he was born without a
Yes,
face.
Game Grumps.
Yes,
I hate Game Grumps.
What?
Oh.
Why?
that's fair.
I think they're annoying as shit.
You know what? Teach
To
their
be
own.
no, to be fair, hold on. Dan is cool. I like Dan. Aaron is fucking annoying as shit. But he was ego wrapped. Like when he was actually ego wrapped back in the day, like the edgy shit. I thought the edgy shit was funny as a kid. Like I've grown out of most of it, but I think just
Mhm.
nowadays listening to him speak about anything is just droning and boring and just it makes me like I've never wanted to change the video so fast.
You're not.
So what I'm hearing is you like the Game Grumps as far as Danny and Jontron go.
Oh yeah. Well, JonTron's. I just like JonTron.
He's not part
No,
of the
I know.
Grumps
I
anymore.
just like JonTron and I just
Yeah.
like Dan.
Yeah.
I don't like Aaron, so I don't listen to the Game Grumps at all.
You're not.
I don't watch any of their videos.
You're not wrong.
Super Mega though, I fucking love
Super Mega's great. You're not wrong. Anytime Aaron
They
starts
are
complaining
chaos.
about something, it's just like this long. It's something that's not not even a topic. It's just something bullshitty and means nothing. It's just great.
Kind of like what we're doing now.
Yeah,
I feel like a hypocrite.
yeah.
Aren't
We're all-
we the stereotypical Crippa hits?
I've discovered that every human on the world is a hypocrite. It's just the ones who are put in front of a camera are called them.
You ever think you just have dyslexia when you're talking?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Not just me then. Sorry, taking a drink.
Nah, you're all right.
By the way, Gunnar, this is going to be real fun for you to edit as I am currently been drinking my Pepsi. We're not sponsored. And my candy. So have fun with
Dude.
that.
But we could be if Pepsi wanted to come knocking
Yeah,
on our
we're-
door.
Yeah.
Mr. Pepsi is not going to come
But
to
you
our
could.
door and be like, "Hey, I want to sponsor you
Dude, I'll wear a
guys."
Speedo. Just,
I'll wear a Pepsi
like-
Speedo. We'll all wear
Yeah, I'll
Pepsi
wear a-
Speedos.
I'm not saying that I won't be the next Pepsi man,
Pepsi.
but I'll be the next Pepsi man for you, Pepsi.
If there was one ad or one company we could get to support this podcast, who do you think it would be? Or that we could, who would you want it to be rather?
Who would I want it to
Raid
be?
Shadow Legends
I'll
is
kill you.
the newest
Oh, God,
and
please,
best
no.
mobile game.
I'll kill
Shut
you.
the
Stop talking.
hell up.
We're not sponsored.
Hundreds of champions.
We're not sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends.
Oh my god, but that's a dream. That is my dream.
No.
That's not a dream. That's literally every YouTuber in
I want-
existence. It's part of being a
Kevin-
YouTuber. You have to do a
Kevin,
Raid
one of
Shadow
these-
Legends
One of
spot.
these fucking days, buddy, you're gonna slide a Raid Shadow Legends script in front of me, and I'm gonna say, "Really, really, Papa? Is it finally happening?" And you say, "Yes, my son," as you pet me and curl my hair.
I will activate sponsorships. I will do it and make you do a Raid sponsor or a Raid Shadow
do
Legends
it.
sponsor.
I would love to voice that. That sounds amazing.
Steven,
Connor can come in and help me.
I would love to.
I don't
would
think I trust you
genuinely
doing it.
love to do a Raid Shadow Legends ad. That'd be great.
I have integrity.
Or what's that other game that's constantly? It's like the Clash of Clans ripoff. Rise of Kingdoms.
No,
I-
I actually played that game.
Oh, and Kingdoms of
That one
Avalon.
too.
That one too.
Haven't played that one.
That one's a game made by gamers for gamers.
We're gamers. I didn't know we were gamers.
I mean, it's like everyone who works in the video game industry likes video
No,
games.
you cannot say the gamer word.
Oh. That was my next question.
No,
If we're all gamers, does that mean I get to say the gamer word?
No,
Uh,
none of us can say the
And
gamer
speaking of games,
Oh yeah, E3 stuff.
oh, hold on,
Oh.
hold on. What did all of you think of Metroid Dread?
About fucking time.
About it might be too late, but who knows? It seems like
It
people
looks
are
cool.
into it. Like,
I
I
mean,
like Metroid games.
The game got canceled back in like 2005, something like that, like 15, 16 years ago. It
Yeah.
got canceled. Came back for a brief moment, got canceled again. And
Mhm.
then after like the Metroid 2 remake, Return of Samus, or Metroid Samus Returns, which is fantastic. They just kind of gave it to them and said, "Hey, go make this for Switch now." And it looks really good. And it comes out here in a few months. And I'm excited.
yeah,
It was a lot sooner though.
Now, my question, my main question about it is, how do you guys feel about it being going back to its 2D platformer vibes from being as opposed to like Metroid Prime,
Well,
They're
I
different
think-
games.
where it's first person shooter?
like
yeah,
both.
they're both great. Like the Metroid Prime games, the first person games are fantastic, but the 2D games are also awesome. Like I don't know, you can't really complain about getting one or the other.
I've been honestly going through a kick of old Metroidvania games. Like I did Dawn of Sorrow, I think, or it was either Aria of Sorrow or Dawn of Sorrow, the Game Boy one. I started playing through that recently. Super fun. Started playing through Samus Returns like almost immediately after Metroid Dread got announced. Really fun. Don't get me wrong, I love the Metroid Prime series, but the 2Ds work really well. Like Metroid Prime 2 is still probably my favorite game of all time. And I still have my GameCube copy of it.
I don't think I ever
Nice.
played Metroid Prime 2 or 3. 3 is Echoes, right?
2 is Echoes.
2
3
is
is
Echoes.
Corruption, which I have not
Yeah.
played that
Okay.
one somehow.
I've
Yeah.
only played the original Metroid Prime.
I have only played the first Metroid Prime, and then as far as the 2D ones go, the only one that I remember playing, I know I've played more. The only one I remember playing though is Super Metroid.
That one's
Super
really
Metroid's
good.
The remake of the original, right?
No, that's Zero Mission.
Oh,
Yeah.
Zero Mission's the remake? No,
Yeah.
I thought Zero Mission was the one.
Metroid,
Which
like
okay,
original
so then which one's the
Metroid.
one with the blue suit?
That's Fusion.
Oh, that's okay. So then I've played So I've played
Yeah.
Zero, Super Metroid, and Fusion.
I've never played any of those.
They're all fucking awesome. I was like, I know one of them was a remake of the original. I didn't know that until after I'd played it and beaten the game.
Yeah, that's Zero Mission. And so they remade the first one and the second one. Those are remakes. Yeah, because they didn't do any like upscaling or ports.
Oh
with them.
wait, and then I did play the original Metroid on the Switch when I first got it because they gave you the like NES collection or whatever.
Yeah, it's not fun. To be
Yeah,
honest,
it's very slow. I'll say that.
it
It's
just
like a
kind of
blast from the
hurts to
past.
play. Yeah, it's a much older game, so it's kind of hard to play through.
Yeah.
But I don't know, those old NES games, if you can get through them, they're really fun. I understand why they like lasted for so long, but they can just suck to get through. OG like Zelda is probably the one
that's-
that probably holds up the best besides like original Mario. Those two there hold up really well.
That-
Original Metroid does not hold up
That
well.
actually, that actually reminds me when you brought up the original Legend of Zelda game. My brother was telling me that apparently there was this podcast that he was listening to. Don't remember the name of it, so don't even bother asking.
Hey Kevin, what's the name of the podcast your
Um,
brother was listening to?
Don't know,
Come on, you gotta
Well,
have
then
your
what
info,
the
man.
but
fuck?
they were doing.
Look, we're on a podcast. We're clearly qualified because we hit the record button.
You
we
know what?
gotta
Let me
know
just
our
call
stuff,
him.
Kevin.
Right.
I'll call him and ask him.
You're right. Okay, but either way, the podcast he was listening to, they were doing a ranking in their opinion of best Zelda games of all time, and it came down to what was it? Link Between Worlds and Breath of the Wild, and Link to the Past. My bad. That one came out on top because after 20 plus years of being out, it still holds up as a game.
Yeah. Yeah, that game's still pretty solid.
I was gonna say,
To be
whenever
fair-
anybody talks about the best Zelda games, are usually it's either Link to the Past or Ocarina of Time.
Orca
Those are the
Wieners.
two.
Yes.
Huh? Oh, actually, not Ocarina. Majora's Mask. That's what it is.
Oh yeah,
Majora's and Link to the
And
Past.
see, the thing was, when Majora's Mask came out, no one really cared for it because it was too dark and edgy.
I don't know about that. I think nobody cared for it because they just assumed it was Ocarina. They were just like, oh, okay, well, it's just Ocarina. I've already got it.
Well, I was going to say, because the same exact thing happened when Twilight Princess first came out, too.
Mm.
Because they were wanting a more serious Legend of Zelda game, and they gave them Wind Waker instead. So, like, this game's too cartoony. So then they gave them Twilight Princess, and like, oh, this game's too dark and
to be
edgy.
fair, Wind Waker, when people actually started playing it, it was really good. Wind Waker's still probably
Oh,
one of my
yes.
favorites, though I'm upset of how short and how many few dungeons it has, how short it is.
Wind Waker and Twilight Princess are my two favorites.
If I had to say favorite, I would say Link Between Worlds. I really like that game a lot.
See, I didn't play that one.
I have the game if you want to borrow it at some point, but it's a link between. It's a link to the past with a few extra things into it. It's still pretty
yes,
open like
yes,
that.
I knew
and
that.
it's
Yeah,
fantastic because I like the fact that it's very open. There's very few things that have an order to them. You can just basically do whatever you want from the get-go. Though there are some that are clearly not meant for you to go too early because you will die.
Oh,
But
yeah.
you can still do them pretty early. Just
Steven.
What you want, bud?
No,
oh,
go
I was
ahead.
gonna
Go
say
ahead,
just
Jacob.
the
Go ahead,
idea that you
Jacob.
can just go and just also buy the items all at once really early on, so you can go grind buy all your items at and just be fine.
Yeah.
It's like cool. I have everything now.
Yep.
Also,
I did find it weird that there was the renting system of the game. Well, of the items in there.
yeah, it's a little weird, but at a certain point, you just straight buy them, and it's no longer a problem.
Yeah.
I think the thing that I like the most is the fact you don't have to worry about ammo for like bombs and arrows and stuff like that.
Bows and all
yeah,
that
all
stuff.
of that. You don't have to worry about it.
Okay.
It's just magic, which restores over time.
No, it all just goes off
Yep,
your magic.
It'll restore over time, so it's just
Okay.
super simplified. Less things to worry about. I think that's why I liked it a lot.
That's fair. Steven,
Mhm.
did you happen to see any of the trailers or anything for E3? Anything pique your interest that happened?
Not necessarily. Like, I don't know. When it comes to E3, I just wait to see what people get mad at. That's my favorite part of E3. It's like, what are people going to get upset about? And nothing really. I didn't see anything that people were getting super like salty about, so I didn't care much.
Other than that, everyone's panel pretty much sucked except for Nintendo's.
Square Enix was pretty nice, honestly. Not
I didn't
terrible,
even-
though people were apparently very upset about that Final Fantasy Origins at the very end of
I
that.
say I was gonna say what I was told about it was that they were pretty much saying, "Oh yeah, Final Fantasy 16's in the works. We're doing some stuff for Final Fantasy 14. Final Fantasy 7 Part 2 is going to be out later." And then they were just like, "And Origins."
None of that happened. They talked about a bunch of either remakes or ports of like the old Final Fantasies, like 1 through 6 games.
Mhm.
Then they announced Origins. They didn't say anything else about Final Fantasy because 14 had their own like their own conference that happened like a few months ago.
Yeah,
Mhm.
makes sense.
I don't remember what that was.
Oh no! I remember was Keith was telling me that he said that they could have talked about all that stuff, but they decided to talk about none of it.
Yeah, they talked about a Guardians of the Galaxy game for
Yeah.
a good half of it, but that game had never been talked about or announced, and it's coming out here in a few months, so yeah, it's warranted, and it actually doesn't look bad.
Well, that's what they said about the Avengers game, and the Avengers game. Is
I was about to say,
It's
the
made by a
Avengers game
different
kind
team,
of
different team. They did announce expansions for that Avengers game with a few things, including one Black Panther thing, which is its own like separate story, which is
oh boy, DLC for a game that no one plays.
yeah. I honestly do not care, but hey, it's the people who do care. They're stumping for you there. Have fun.
Yeah. Connor, did you anything at E3 pique your interest, buddy?
Let me think. Super Monkey Ball Mania. They're
Oh, what is
Uh,
that?
Oh, you mean
Is
the
that like a
number 10
portal?
best game of all time?
yeah, they're just
Wait, are you actually being serious
Yeah.
right now?
Yeah,
Super
no,
Monkey Ball Mania.
it's-
They're taking
Hold-
Banana
hold
Mania
on.
or something like
all
that.
the Monkey
Hold
Ball
on.
games and they're putting it into one game. At least from what the trailer was. It was basically just saying
Super Monkey Ball Banana
that one.
Blitz.
Yep.
Banana Blitz. Yeah, it is. So wait, it actually just has all the other
Mm-hmm.
games in it.
Just all of them. As far as what I saw.
Wait, no, it's not Banana Blitz. It is.
Yeah, Banana Blitz came out in 2006.
Yeah, no, it's Banana Mania.
Mania.
Which, wait, oh, Banana Mania is only $40 too.
It's gonna be
Shit,
great. It's just
$40 for like a ton of Monkey Ball games. That's actually not bad at all.
Oh, it comes out in October. Okay. And it's actually releasing on multiple platforms. Look at you.
What other platforms?
Yeah. It's being released on Switch, PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and it's going to be on Microsoft
Is this the
Windows.
first time a Monkey Ball game has been released on something that wasn't Nintendo? My brain says
Probably is
yes.
out on like, I want to say Sega and Dreamcast because it is a Sega property.
That's true. You are correct on that.
Pretty sure it's publisher Sega.
Also, WarioWare's getting a new game
Sega.
finally after all this time.
Oh yeah, there's a new WarioWare game. Never played a WarioWare game. They look
They're
fun
really
party
fun.
games, and I kind of want to get it for that.
Are we getting a new Sonic game?
Technically, yes.
Yes,
Wait,
but
what?
I don't remember anyone announcing anything at E3
Not
about
at
that.
E3, but Sega had its own little. Actually, no, it had its own Sonic conference where they were like, "It's Sonic's 35th anniversary." I think. Don't quote me on that, but they did a whole little direct about it.
New Sonic game for 2022.
Yes, sir.
Look, it's gonna make a lot of people really happy, but that game is gonna be hit or miss.
That's
Oh,
every
God,
Sonic game ever since. Like,
It's either gonna be really good gameplay or just really
Just
bad,
like
or really
Sonic
bad gameplay
06.
and
ever
story.
since Sonic games went 3D, they've been hit or miss. Like the 2D games were like the last.
Okay, to be fair,
The 2D
they
games
became
are
hit or
iffy.
miss as soon as Sonic 06 hit.
No, Sonic 1 sucked. I'll say it now. Sonic 1
Sonic
sucked.
Adventure and Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 were also hit or miss. Sonic Adventure for being a grindy mess. Sonic Adventure 2.
Okay,
Yeah.
Sonic Adventure DX was a great game. You shut your mouth.
I mean, to each their own.
I'm pretty sure that game is that the one where you play as Big the
It's the one
Cat.
where
And
you
you gotta go fish out
You
frogs.
shut your mouth?
That's Sonic Adventure 1, yes.
Yeah, it is that one. Yeah, no, that game's
Yeah,
not
no,
good.
Game's great. And then Sonic Adventure 2 Battle was also great.
Then there was.
Look, you can't take those games seriously.
Rolling
I'll
around
just say
at
that. You
the
cannot
speed
take
of
those.
sound.
There you go, Steven.
This is
Thank
good.
you.
We
You
can't
can't
sing
sing
that.
that.
It's
It's
copyrighted.
copyrighted.
It is
We can't
copyrighted.
sing
You're
it.
right. I'm sorry. You have to
Kill
bleep that
him.
one out.
Connor, stop.
What?
Stop it.
I thought you were
I
singing as
wasn't
well.
singing. I started singing
Connor's
like the
always
beginning
singing.
bits. Yeah, I'm always singing.
Okay. Is it okay just to monotonously say out the entire lyrics?
Fuck if I know. I don't care about copyright.
That is not
I go to
okay.
Disney's house and I shit on
Okay.
the porch and then I walk away.
You see, this is why you're not allowed in Disneyland anymore.
Oh, that's the reason why I'm not allowed at Disneyland anymore?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that one's it.
Oh.
I don't know. Like, for some reason, they keep. Did you use my address last time you went? Because they keep mailing it to me. I don't know why.
Oh, I might have.
It's like, yeah, why did you defecate on my front porch? And it's like, I don't even know who you are.
I'm good.
You made the Lion King movie, and that's about all I know.
Hold on. So I for some reason decided to look up copyright laws, and apparently, according to this, it says it says only the copying of the work is prohibited. Anyone may copy the ideas contained within a work, though.
Yes, so we can steal Elvin from Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
And
that could lead us into our next topic about the fact that
stupid fantasy names
are very dumb. Like, it means the topic brought up when we were playing Final Fantasy 14, and all the names in that game are some amalgamation of Elven bullshit that make no sense and are very difficult to pronounce for no reason other than it's fantasy.
They aren't difficult to pronounce.
Yeah, you just cannot read Gridania right.
For some reason,
right?
Gridania is hard.
Connor's just illiterate in that language.
Because it was written in like scribbles. That's all it was.
These Zoomers can't read in cursive.
What's
cursive?
Similarities between Connor's reasoning for not being able to pronounce anything in the game, and Steven's girlfriend, is that they're both pretty much Hicks. All right, and for some reason,
Ow.
Hicks cannot understand the words in this game.
Elvin.
I don't know about Elvin, but it's just definitely the words in this game specifically.
It's because, okay, I thought about this, and I have a constructed argument, all right? I think
Uh-huh.
that because Tolkien was the one who originated this, right? Creating his own Elven language, and then everyone is kind of just, I think everyone else is just piggybacking off of that because they think,
they change it up
they
a
change
bit,
it up slightly, but
Japanese names can also get translated into a few different things, so they end up coming out differently and kind of weird. Like Japan is Nippon. That's nothing alike to what we have.
No.
So if it originates from Japan, it's probably just a very strange translation to English for a good part of it, because their language does not transfer to English very well at all.
I just don't think
that's actually just a big issue with translating games.
I just don't think that you need to make something as like simple as town names, city names, character names. I don't think you need to make that overly complicated by. Now, I'm not saying you need to name every character Jack Mihawk or whatever, but like
really
no.
Hold on, no.
Bad Connor.
Connor,
we're gonna
go look at foreign cities, foreign towns. You find those towns and the names of those towns that you can't pronounce, you cannot pronounce or say, and then you tell me that it's because they can't make it simple.
Yeah, just
right. Like go look at
China.
Look at any Russian city.
Russian cities or Swedish cities, and you're like, oh, I can't read it. Why can't they just make it like? Why can't they just call this town?
Hold on.
Like really?
Who named a city Topeka? You tell me that, and you tell me there's a god.
Topeka isn't that complicated of a name, though. I'm talking like when they start putting.
Neither is Gridania, but you're still having issues.
Gridania. Okay, Gridania is simple. The only reason I was having problems with Gridania is because on the map, it's written in like a really squiggly language. Like Gridania has the word I can see, but like on the map itself, it's like on the colored map where it has like calligraphy, mountains drawn into it, and cities drawn into it. The name Gridania.
He's distracted by the pretty pictures.
Yeah, it's honestly, that map is just meant to look pretty. It is not useful in any other way.
Yeah, it's like
Don't
calligraphy.
look at that map. It's evil.
You just said it. It's like calligraphy. Calligraphy doesn't really have a fuck it. What is it? Like an actual purpose. It just looks pretty. Very pretty way of writing. And for somebody with an untrained eye, they couldn't read that. Even if they spoke English and wrote in English, they probably wouldn't be able to understand an entire letter written out in cursive. Written out in
like there's an entire generation that can't read cursive.
To your point of Swedish cities, because you said Swedish cities in general. Russia is its own language, so I can't really.
Swedish cities are in their own language as well.
No, they're not. Stockholm, Gothenburg, Uppsala.
Swedish is a language, Connor.
Kiruna, Lund, Heisenberg? Yeah, Heisenberg. No, Helsingborg. My bad.
There you go.
You can't even pronounce
Holmstad, Kalmar, Ystad. Those are easy. Those are easy to pronounce. I'm saying like when you start putting like commas and asterisks over words to like what was that, the main city, like Ulthamed or something like that? Like when
Ulda?
Ulda. Is it just pronounced Ulda?
Yes.
But it doesn't look like Ulda. Like the letters are different.
Okay. Connor, that's just different languages, bro. When there's cities in Mexico, in the Mexican or in the Spanish language, there are like the little squiggles over the letters to show
tilde
to show that you have to pronounce that letter differently than normal.
Well, yeah.
Like, but in the name Ulda, there's nothing there that's telling you to pronounce it differently. There's just a comma in between ul and dah, so that you pronounce. So it's Ulda. It basically it's just there to let you know that it's two syllables.
All I'm saying is I don't think you need to overly complicate things like names.
I fucking hate you.
To be fair, Connor, I did fact check something you did say about Tolkien and his Elvish language. He actually was the one who created the Elvish language in 1910.
Yeah, he did it before writing Lord of the Rings.
He was the one who originally...
Like an insane
man. What
man.
I'm saying is I think every like sort of fantasy game that uses that sort of Elvish language is just sort of piggybacking off Tolkien and just using his stuff and making it look like, oh, see, we did fancy words too. It's like you didn't have to use the fancy word though. You could have just used something like stone tree or some name like that. I don't know.
Okay,
You
but
can still make
again,
fantasy names.
That's lame.
but not all fantasy needs to be modeled off of medieval times, like medieval English, medieval France, medieval like Germany. Like, and even medieval Germany, most of the names for things are in German. So it wouldn't just be Stonewall. It would be the German version of Stonewall. And if you don't speak German, you're going to be sitting there probably pronouncing it wrong, and somebody's going to correct you. And then you're going to look at them like, oh, I can't pronounce it. Like, why can't you just name it something simple? And it's like, to them, it's very simple.
Isn't Stonewall the name of a
But
Confederate
but
general?
you're
Yeah,
bringing
Stonewall Jackson.
Yes.
But it's just an example. We don't condone the
bad choice.
Confederacy. I'm not stockpiling guns in the
said-
name of Texas freedom.
to be fair, I said stone tree, not stone wall. You said
Whatever.
wall. I
He
said
did
whatever,
say
yeah, yeah.
stone tree.
Yeah, we
It's
jumped
semantics
off of
at this
that there.
that's semantics. But what I'm like, what you're saying is that real languages like German and Russian, if I mispronounce those, yes, I get that because it's a different language. This is a made up language. This is
Yes,
not
it's a
real.
different language.
No
It's a
one,
different
no
language.
one uses it.
Connor.
They use
Connor.
it in the game because it's
Some
supposed to be a
people do.
completely different.
Are you
world.
gonna start? Are you gonna start dissing on Dovahkiin now too?
I could honestly, if you preferred. Dovahkiin.
Forsyth Dovahkiin.
I don't know what that.
What is the
first-
language in Skyrim called?
I don't know.
It's
It's
The
Draconic.
dragon
just-
language.
it's Dragonborn.
dragons.
It's Dragonborn.
Well, I know, but I thought I had its own like weird name. But yeah, the same thing with that.
Bombs a hole.
Look, it's
Dragon language.
it's just really, it just seems really
I know
don't
it's
know.
petty. I understand it's petty and it's not going to make any sense, but it makes sense in my brain that you shouldn't have to make up your own language to make a setting feel more real. You can just do that with normal
See-
words. You don't have to overcomplicate things. Is what I'm
See,
saying.
the thing is,
overcome.
he didn't have to do it. He just really wanted
That's
to
fine
do
if
it.
you really wanted to do it.
This man is from like World War One. When was Tolkien alive? He was working as a professor at the time. I think he was like, Yeah.
Tolkien.
It's
Yeah, like
it's
around World
irking
War
me.
One.
it's killing
that's
me.
when he made it.
It's fantasy. Like, it's
My
not
bad.
supposed to
World
be
War-
real.
Yeah, I know. That's what
So
I'm
it's supposed to
saying.
be based in a
Oh.
non-real setting. So the more not real you can make it, the better. Whatever you could do to differentiate it from the real world.
I know I'm on the wrong side of this argument. I know it. I know it with all my heart that I'm on the wrong side of this argument. But
But
God,
you're gonna die on this
I
fucking
will
hill, aren't
die
you?
on this hill. This is
And I will
my
be the one that.
Well, Jacob, he
fucking
was alive for
crucifies
World
you.
War One and World War Two.
Yes, but the books came out around World War II. That is my mistake.
Yes.
The Hobbit came out in 37, and Lord of the Rings came out in 54. And the
Yes.
Silmarillion is just a whole separate thing. We don't need to worry about that one.
You mean the Silmarillion?
Silmarillion, the Bible for
Oh.
Lord of the Rings.
Yes, it is.
I used the wrong word. Yeah, this language is stupid, Connor.
Yeah, there we go. Huh, look at that.
Silmarillion is a great book, and I think that everyone should read it.
I was gonna
Okay,
say I have the book
no.
on my shelf right
I
now.
do
I'm just
not
trying to
believe
find
everyone
it.
should read it. I do think it's a good read,
Okay,
but yeah, no.
if you are into Tolkien-esque fantasy style worlds, it is a great
Yeah,
read.
if you're
Yeah.
really wanting to sit down and read it, you can read it. Otherwise, you really just don't have to. There are so many summarized versions of the book out there that people just like there are videos on YouTube and shit of people explaining certain parts of the book that you don't need to read it all yourself. Because the
There's
important
some
bits can
really
just be
cool
explained to
stuff.
you.
In all honesty, I would love to actually have all of his collection, like all of the collection from everything he did over Middle Earth.
I have that as like a single book. It's on my shelf. I can see it from here.
There you go, Kevin. Go over to Jacob's.
Do you want to borrow that?
Oh, nice. Maybe actually.
It's look the book is like 6 inches thick. It's a big book.
Cradle his balls.
It,
Swallow the gravy.
It's sitting
Kevin.
up there next to Mark Twain collection, my Shakespeare collection. Is that Lovecraft? Yeah, that's Lovecraft.
Look at you, well
Racist
read.
bastard. Do you know?
do you think he's read any of these?
Look, I have a lot of books on my shelf. I have read half of them at most. But like, there's the collection books up there because that's just a large series of books I have. And then I also have a bunch of sci-fi books, like really old versions of sci-fi books, like the Foundation trilogy, which is like 5-6 books now. I have a good chunk of the Dune books and a bunch of other series in there. I think Beskar's in there as well. Cannot remember the name of that series. But just old sci-fi books my dad gave me as well are in there. And then for some reason, I have books I read as a kid, like the Bionicle books and Hank the Cow Dog.
Hank the Cow Dog. There you go. That's a callback.
Why do you know that?
I love how both of you went the opposite way with that. Steven went for Bionicle and Connor went for Hank the Cow Dog.
It just shows how different we are.
Yeah.
I can understand art.
Most of the books on my shelf are Redwall because I love that series. I think I have all of his books too. Then I also have there is a Bibble on there.
A Bibble.
Why is that there? I didn't
The
buy
Bible. Just says the Bible.
God works in mysterious ways, Jacob.
Oh wait, no. Someone gave it to me while I was walking around on campus. That's where I got that from. It's like, hey, do you want to talk about God? No, I'm a bit busy. Here, just take this then. Cool. Just kind of went home with it. So it's a reference book for me at this point. I'm not going to actually go and read that.
Go alone. Take this.
If anyone asks what your favorite book in the Bible is, tell them that one that's like half a page long. Because it was short.
I tell them the one that has dragons in it.
Revelations?
No, Psalms.
Oh yeah, that one too. I don't know how that happened. Also,
no one does.
How many dragons were in like the Lord of the Rings series?
Actual dragons?
Because the only one they ever talk about in like Hobbit and Lord of the Rings series is Smaug. I know in like the Silmarillion book has like a bunch of them.
Silmarillion?
Yeah, that one. I'm gonna keep forgetting that word. Yeah, but I know that one goes over a lot of like big giant dragons in that. And I know there's one that's just insanely huge.
Oh, sorry. But what I was saying was that I think most of the dragons are actually gone, dead and gone, by the time the Lord of the Rings comes around. Smaug is, I believe, one.
There's Galrung the dragon.
I was gonna say most of them. That one. I know the first dragon was created by Sauron's master. What's his name?
I don't know.
I can't remember his fucking name. But yeah, he created the first dragon, and the first dragon didn't have wings. It was just a fucking, like a giant lizard thing. And then they had babies. And then all those babies are super powerful. And then most of them, I believe.
So they became extinct at the end of the Third Age.
Yeah, Smaug was one of the last great dragons. But he was nothing compared to like his ancestors.
I just remember seeing a size chart, and he's like itty bitty compared to like the giant black dragon.
Yeah.
On the far left, who is like literally bigger than a mountain.
Yep.
It does say that it does go into it that Gandalf said that some of the Fire Drake race did survive until at least just before the War of the Ring happened. And then that's pretty much the end of the Fire Drake line.
Yep.
So, Connor, you're thoroughly baffled right now?
No, I've literally been... You said some made-up words, and then my brain just went...
Oh, okay.
Just flatline.
If we're gonna be real here, all words are made-up words. You're just conditioned to know.
Stop it! Stop talking. You're gonna break the simulation again.
We're sorry. He didn't mean it.
Look, the only way to correct it is to lock Connor in a room and have him watch all the Lord of the Rings extended edition.
I've never seen any of the Lord of the Rings,
so I don't know why. Like, I feel like you would like them.
I feel like I would too. I think I got mad at FF14 last time.
Part of me just wants to sit him down and show him all three extended editions, and then I'm just like, I don't want to put him through that right off the bat.
He doesn't need to watch the extendeds. He just needs to watch the theatricals.
I haven't seen the extendeds. I need to do that.
They're pretty good. I spent an entire weekend watching all three.
Unlike Star Wars, I have not watched any of Lord of the Rings or any of The Hobbit. Like, just any of it.
But you've seen all the new Star Wars movies.
The Hobbit, you can.
I said.
Say you can go without technically seeing The Hobbit.
I wouldn't recommend watching it. I mean, you can, but it's like,
It's a good movie. It's just they put a lot of extra stuff into it.
I will go as far as to say it is not a good movie.
Don't I need to watch?
It is a fine. It's a fine enough couch movie. It's like if it's on HBO or whatever, and it's like, well, I ain't got anything to do. I'll just go and watch The Hobbit.
Don't I need to watch The Hobbit? Do I need to watch The Hobbit first because it's a prequel?
No.
God, no.
No.
The Hobbit doesn't have anything to do with the Lord of the Rings.
But in the movies, they did throw in like some ties to the Lord of the Rings. They're like, oh, you remember this character from Lord of the Rings? Or this?
Yes, they threw in Legolas.
The more stuff about the ring.
What happened to his legs?
The necromancer.
Damn it, Jacob! You stole my joke. I was going to say
Got him.
that.
Speaking of weird fantasy things, did they talk about Elder Scrolls at all
No.
during E3?
No, I actually heard about that because I was asking about that. I was like, "Hey, did Bethesda say anything about Elder Scrolls 6?" And she's like, "No."
So I watched two conferences. I watched
we didn't even hear
I
Skyrim.
watched two conferences in full. I watched the Nintendo conference and I watched the Xbox Bethesda conference. The Nintendo conference because I like Nintendo and I wanted to see what they were going to do. I watched the Xbox Bethesda conference because I wanted to see it crash and burn. And oh boy, did it crash and burn!
I cannot remember anything in the Xbox Bethesda conference that was of note. I can't think of a single thing.
Starfield was given a release date of 11/11/22.
Did they show any gameplay
No, it
of
was
that?
a cinematic trailer because just
Then it's useless.
The game industry has fallen in love with these cinematic trailers, and it pisses me off to no end because it shows nothing. It shows absolutely but all.
It shows world building and story.
That's fine, but I need to see gameplay.
Some of that may not make it to the end of the actual game.
If you wanted to see story, if I want to see story or anything like that, I'd go watch a movie. I'm playing a game. I want to know what the game's going to be about, not like what. Like that sounds cynical, but does that make any sense? Is that tracking with?
No, that makes sense.
I kind of understand it because you want to actually. The difference between a movie and a video game is that one you're watching, the other you're experiencing.
Yes.
Which is why I have a love for video games. So I've been trying to make one for a while. I'm not going to get to that. I have made an animation, and that is it.
I'm gonna say there's also a reason why a lot of people get upset whenever games like The Order 1862 come out, and it's pretty much a movie instead of a game.
1886.
That's not even the right year.
Yeah,
Or
that
like
game.
Death Stranding, which I feel like
Norman Reedus and the Amazing Fetus. Yes.
I feel like
Hey, I want to make a movie. No one's going to do that. Okay, what if I put a game
what if
in
I
it?
make a game though? Okay, I feel like just no one wants Kojima to make a movie, so he's just lashing out like a child and just like I'll show you, and just makes Death Stranding.
I mean, he even had an award-winning director with Guillermo del Toro come in and just act in his game,
cameo in it.
Honestly, that's not too surprising for Kojima. He does weird stuff like that. As far as I remember, Death Stranding was really difficult at first, like after when it first came out, but now that people have actually gotten through it, the game's really fun and easy because
if you can make it past like the first 6 hours.
I was gonna say a lot of people have left stuff for you to help out other people, which is really neat. I kind of like that. It's like a weird shared world thing.
Like I said, you just have to make it past the first 6 hours of the game to get to the game.
Yeah, which I never touched the game because I've tried playing one Kojima game that was Metal Gear Solid 5. I didn't get very far.
Yes.
Neither did I. Most from what people told me about Death Stranding, it's like, oh yeah, it's good. Like 14 hours in, it's like I don't want to do that. I don't think.
Yeah. I think I made it like 3 hours in the game, and I was like, I'm bored of this.
See, the issue I have with Metal Gear, because that's a stealth game. I have no patience for stealth in games.
I'm fine with stealth in games.
I just don't want to sit around waiting because, oh yeah, you can go loud on Metal Gear. You're gonna die doing so. You're not gonna get anywhere with that.
I think
that's not true. I've seen Steven go loud in Metal Gear before, not get murdered instantly.
It's easy.
Fair enough. But I don't know what I'm doing enough to do that, and still
that's
that's true. Steven plays. He like looks as Metal Gear as his Bible, so
fair enough.
Oh,
I'm just not good with those
games. To tell
games.
everybody, we are talking about a different Steven. There are two Stevens. We differentiate them between white Steven and brown Steven because we are terrible people, you see.
You see, I just call them Steven and help them figure it out. I like confusing people.
Oh, we always know who he's talking about, too.
Yeah, it's real fun in D&D. It's like, okay, Steven, can you go roll me this? And then they both roll. It's like, all right, cool, thank you.
What the hell was it? Oh, right. Back to Death Stranding. I think the reason Death Stranding kind of fell on its face a little bit is because it was sold as a AAA game, and it is not a AAA game. Like
I think it
I
is.
it
It definitely had
it
the
has
budget
the
for it.
budget, but it does not have like when I think of a AAA game, and not saying that all AAA games are quote unquote good. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is AAA games nowadays are
It's like Call of Duty
it's
Ghost.
like AAA games are Call of Duty, it's Halo, it's fucking Assassin's Creed. It's like those types of games.
Do you want to list a good AAA game at any point?
Yeah,
there?
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
To be fair,
Hey, God of War, that's a good AAA
God of War,
game.
yeah.
I'm cautiously optimistic for Halo Infinite. It looks a lot better. They've added
It's
grappling hook.
got cross-play multiplayer.
That
I'm
is
happy
true.
with that.
It's also got the original Halo combat, where you're not aiming down sights. They got rid of that shit from Halo 5. That was garbage, and I was still
I
pissed
liked
about
aiming
that.
down sights.
Fuck you. Go play Call of Duty. That's not Halo.
Okay.
I'll fight someone on this. Halo was really good because you didn't have to aim down sights. You could just point and shoot. That's it. It's super simple. Halo 3 did really well with that. Halo Reach is still my favorite in the series, and it did that pretty well. Halo 4, it's still doing that, but the story was garbage, and there was something weird with the multiplayer, so I couldn't actually do the things I wanted to do, so I dropped off. Halo 5, I don't know what the hell happened there. I have not touched that game, but everything I've seen and the little bits I've actually looked at gameplay-wise, I don't want to touch that game. It's like a plague.
There was one thing that was announced at the Xbox conference that I do remember that people were pretty excited about, and it was Outer Worlds 2 was announced. And from what I heard,
Sorry.
Outer Worlds was okay, right?
I enjoyed
I
that.
liked
Steven
it.
loved it.
Outer Worlds was awesome. So,
Yeah,
Who
I had
was
a lot
saying
of fun with
earlier that it wasn't that great of a game?
Gunner. Our editor Gunner. But
Okay.
to be fair, Gunner can't really find much enjoyment in a lot of games, I feel like.
Unless it makes him miserable.
Everyone has their
This is
preferences.
Yeah, it's true.
He's a masochist.
A little bit, yeah.
There's also Sea of Thieves is getting a Pirates of the Caribbean crossover. That thing.
Oh boy.
How much
That
money
got
did
announced even before that.
Microsoft throw at Disney for that?
All the
Yeah,
money.
it
That
had
is
to.
my
Enough
only
for
question.
Jack Sparrow and
Mhm.
5
They got
missions.
Jack Sparrow. Oh no, they got Jack Sparrow. They got Davy Jones.
Yeah, they actually got Johnny Depp voice acting, as far as I
Really?
can tell.
I genuinely
think so.
didn't pay attention to the voice. I was like, oh, that sounds similar enough. I bet they got some good voice actor or something. But
Look, I'm not good with. I'll be honest, my hearing is terrible. I cannot differentiate. Like when we had our editor setting up my mic, it just sounded slightly louder by the time he was done with it. I can't tell anything. So, as far as I'm concerned, that was just, hey, they got Johnny Depp. That's cool.
and then there was like Halo Infinite. That was itself. They did some stuff over Fallout 76, Starfield, as I previously said, and then their last big thing was because when a conference does and now we have one more thing to show you, it's normally some big thing, right? Like normally they do the biggest.
It's a show
the
closer.
big final.
And it'll usually just be like
Yeah.
a
All
teaser.
right. It is not Jack Sparrow,
It's not
Connor.
Jack Sparrow. Or it's not Johnny
Oh,
Depp.
it is not.
Yeah.
It's not Johnny Depp. It
Damn
is
it.
Jared Butler.
I mean, he sounds good enough, at least to my ears, but there's probably...
They did say it is a very convincing sound-alike, but it is actually Jared Butler who's doing it.
But their last big thing of okay, we got one more thing to show you was a new IP that they were making, made by the same people who made Dishonored, the Arcane Studios folks. They're making a vampire shooter, I guess, called Redfall. It was another cinematic trailer, so I couldn't give less of a shit.
That's the witches versus vampires
yes.
thing, right?
Yes, that is what it is.
Yes.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
It looks interesting, but it's still a cinematic trailer, so I have no attachment to it at all because you didn't show me anything. You didn't tell me what the game was, or even.
I thought it was. I honestly thought it was Back for Blood for a few minutes.
I literally thought it was Back for Blood, and I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, oh, I guess it's this. Okay.
Oh, Back for Blood has vampires. That's cool. That actually makes it a bit more interesting. This is a different game? Oh.
There seems to be a lot of people nowadays that are making sort of Left 4 Dead style games, or who knows? They said it was going to be open world, So I was like, okay, but it just looks like Left 4 Dead, but with vampires.
I'm imagining it's going to be more like Fortnite Save the
God,
World.
I hope not.
Yeah, I'm assuming. To be fair, I actually did enjoy that mode of Fortnite. I don't like battle royales, but the survival actually can be a bit fun at times. That being said, did Back 4 Blood get its like own little section, like its own small conference? That's all they talked about.
I don't think it got its own conference. I think it got a small thing. I think on the Xbox conference. I could be wrong, but I remember seeing something. It might have been at the PC conference, but I think it was at the Xbox conference. It got like its own little snippet of like, oh yeah, Back 4 Blood. And it's like, okay, that's still being made.
Yeah. The people who did, like, they got the team from the original Left 4 Dead games, which Left 4 Dead 2 is not dead at all. Like, people are still playing that game.
It got a recent update. Like, it got a recent new map. Like, after, to be fair, it was after like X amount of years of hibernation, but it got a new map, and then Back 4 Blood was announced, and it was like, oh, they're just doing a new game.
Yeah,
just fine.
I mean, I'm fine with that. Like, there is a mod for Left 4 Dead where you can do the Battle of Helm's Deep. Like, that's super fun. Like, Left 4 Dead 2 has so many things in it. So I understand why people are trying to make games like that. That game will last forever. It's like why Overwatch happened, because TFT or Team Fortress 2, that game's been around forever, and people are still actively playing that for some reason.
It's for the hats. It's for the hats.
There's been
it's a hat simulator.
It's Hat Fortress 2.
Updates. There's been no updates. There's been no new characters in that game, at least as far as I know, ever since its release.
It's all about the hats.
And it's still going.
Team Fortress 2 has added other content and modes and other types of games, but for the most part, the game's just really well done.
I mean, it's toxic as hell, but most games are nowadays. Most multiplayer games are just toxic. Oh, right. Fucking Ubisoft made an Avatar game X amount of years late. However long.
I did see that.
Avatar came out. When did Avatar come out? Like 2012?
James Cameron's Avatar came out in...
I want to say 2011. That's going to be my bet here.
2012, because that sounds right, but...
2009.
Farther.
Hey, I'm closer.
They're fucking... Like, they're, what, 9 years late? No. That's wrong math. How late are they? 12 years late. Sorry,
come on, I believe in you.
There you go.
They're fucking 12 years late, and they're making an Avatar game. What the fuck? Why?
Apparently, we're getting an Avatar 2 movie in 2022 as well.
But why would they release the game before the movie was even like announced? Or I mean, maybe it was announced.
That movie got announced a long time ago. They've just been not doing anything with it.
I think that was the only like quote unquote big thing that Ubisoft had. Maybe they had something else. I didn't watch that conference. I just remember seeing like, oh yeah, Avatar. It's like, but why?
They're doing another Mario and Rabbids game.
Okay, legitimately, that game's good. Like the Mario Rabbids games, they're good. No. Hear me out. They're actually.
You know, Logan actually told me the same thing. He said those games are actually fun.
They're fun. Strategy games. They're actually entertaining.
It's XCOM Light.
It is.
Essentially.
See, I'm not a fan of RTSs though.
Like, it's a niche. I say niche, like fucking Warzone, or what was it? Warhammer exists, so that'll shut me up. But
I'm just gonna say this now. Just Mario plus Rabbids. All right, who's responsible for this? What bed did you get into to make this child?
I don't know.
Why did you think a second one would be good?
The second one,
it is the most bizarre idea and combination of shit to put together.
It worked though. It worked
really well. The first game apparently was really good. I would assume Nintendo had a lot to do with that, because they're not going to put their stamp of approval on something with their flagship IP on it without it being good. They love Mario too much. They keep selling them on everything. And if it's not Mario, it's Zelda. Why they release... Breath of the Wild 2 is happening. Yeah. People are happy and excited for that. I never got far into first Breath of the Wild. Shoot me now.
Honestly, the Breath of the Wild 2 trailer...
No, they'll crucify me over what I'll say about the game, so I'm not even going to talk about it.
I'm not dead yet.
People are super excited. I've been dissecting that trailer for a while. All I saw was like, oh, cool, floating islands. That's about it. Nothing much else to say. There's floating islands now.
Well, apparently it's gonna take a good chunk of it in the sky
That's
of
fine.
Hyrule, which hey,
Which
that's
kind of makes sense of
interesting.
why they remade Skyward Sword a little bit. If that's the road they're taking.
I
with
hate
it.
that you're right. I hate that you're right about that. That's since they've remastered. They're like redoing Skyward Sword, which I tried playing that game and passed out playing it. Like, how do you pass out playing a motion game? I don't know, but I did it.
You know, I do have one question here for Steven about a game that got announced at E3.
Okay.
What are your thoughts, Steven, on Pokemon Unite?
Oh, I think it's gonna be fucking awesome. I love MOBAs and I like Pokemon.
Pokemon
My
Untied?
only issue is it's not on PC, so I actually have to whip out the old switcheroo, because I am not playing it on mobile. I tried giving
So-
Wild Rift a chance, and I just couldn't do it.
How long do you think people will play this game until it just dies?
It's gonna be like the last two Pokemon games. It's gonna be a big thing for like a month or two, then completely die.
Yeah.
Exactly what I was saying to
Like,
Connor.
I think that
I can't even remember those two. Like, actually, no, I remember Pokemon Masters EX,
And Pokemon
the cubes. I don't remember.
oh my god, there was a cube game. Yeah.
Pokemon
Yes,
Quest.
Pokemon Quest. That was a really fun game until you needed to put money into it.
A month into it.
Once you needed like money to start getting better Pokemon and upgrading your like little sanctuary or whatever, I just said nope.
So
Okay, I'll be
when
honest,
Connor explained it to me, he said it's like Pokemon mixed with League of Legends.
Okay, it's a Pokemon MOBA. That's really all you gotta say.
That was the best way I could describe it, because the way the gameplay is, and I know a lot of games use the same sort of MOBAs. A lot of MOBAs use the same sort of mold in a way, but the way it looked is a lot. It says League of Legends to me. I could just because I've played League of Legends more than any other MOBA. So
Yeah,
there's obviously that.
like I was saying, it looks like Here's the Storm to
Yeah.
me. Because
Okay.
I don't know if there will be items. It doesn't look like there's items in the game, so it's definitely going to be more of a you level up and you get to upgrade your abilities, and you get different passives on your abilities, and so your build ends up coming out different every game.
That
But it's just your abilities that are changing.
that
Okay.
brings up a good point, because
So it's more Heroes of the Storm.
I think it's going to be more
because
Heroes of the Storm.
they wouldn't have put items in the game, because this game's probably supposed to be it's supposed to be baby's first MOBA, probably. Is probably the market they're shooting for, and they wouldn't put items in it because that would just overcomplicate things.
League is basically also baby's first MOBA, or it was.
It's very true.
But you don't want your kids playing that.
No, you don't.
okay,
No.
so I'm just gonna say it now. What's Pokemon?
What's Pokemon?
What's Pokemon?
It's like it's about these like weird digital monsters.
I'm
that,
fucking with you.
come
Please
out of
don't.
computers.
Okay.
Usually they're like these kids with digi devices will like put them in their little like digi device. They got really weird names.
And then
They've got a card game
Put them
too.
in their
And then they
Digi
take out
device.
I am so happy you went with that angle there. I fucking
and then
love
they take out their
Digimon.
cards and they start putting them in. They slap on their dual disc.
Yeah, and some of them can even just like fuse with their digi device and turn into Digimon themselves.
Yeah, that's Frontier. That season sucks.
I fucking love Frontier. You take that shit back.
I liked it as
No.
a kid at times, but I don't like it now.
I loved it
can't
as a
stand
kid.
it.
I rewatched it when I was in high school.
Is this why you question furries, Steven? Because you had feelings about that you were confused about, and now you're just terrified of
Hold
furries?
on. Frontier, they're not furries in Frontier.
No, they're not.
You're thinking of the other one where they have the armor cards.
That's
Am I thinking of the other one?
Yeah.
that's
The
some
one
people
with
call it-
Renamon?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're thinking of the one with
that's a different
Renamon
one.
with the cards where they swipe them and they have different armor.
What is the name of
I
that
don't
one? I
remember
want
that
to call
one.
it Savers.
But that's the one.
No, it's Tamers.
yeah,
that one's
yeah.
Tamers.
That's the one that I also watched that one as a kid, but I didn't care for that one as much
Is that why you're afraid of furries, though?
because I watched Sabers as a kid and I saw Renamon.
Yes.
No, it's because I
Yes.
saw Space Jam as a kid and I was sexually attracted to Lola Bunny. And now that I see the new Lola Bunny, I am physically disgusted.
She's wearing a sports bra.
For
Get
some
over
reason,
it.
for some reason, in the year 2021, we are both simultaneously always horny and at the same time scared of the horny. I don't understand. Why the fuck can't we come to a consensus? Titties are nice.
Are you horny or not?
Fat asses are
Look,
nice. Doesn't matter who they're on. I
Must
just
because
don't
of
get
them
it.
damn Republicans.
It's not even the Republicans, man. Like old people, yeah, are scared of, oh, it's too sexy. We gotta censor it. And then like because growing up, right?
It's because Grandpappy can't get a boner
It's 'cause
anymore.
growing up, the old people were the ones that got mad. They were like, "Oh, you can't watch this. It's bad for you. You're gonna get like the ESRB and everything, like all the video games filled with too much violence." But nowadays, it's the kids. It's like the
Yes.
Gen Z kids,
Father, I
or the
crave
fucking-
violence.
the people, the millennials that are all getting upset because it's this game's too sexy. Why is this game all about sex? Why is this game all about violence? It's ridiculous. I hate this society.
There's one thing I can say on this, and it pisses me off that nobody uses this argument more. But like whenever you hear like, oh, the video games are corrupting our youth, blah 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 blah, it's like the ESRB existing should squash that because there's a giant M on that case. It's very prominent and it tells you, hey, this is supposed to be for people who are 17 and up. And little Johnny picks it up, who's 9 years old, shows it to his mom, who's on her fifth bottle of wine. She's like, yeah, go ahead and buy it. I don't care. And then when her child starts shouting profanities at her, she blames the game, even though she's the one who bought it for him. It just infuriates me that like the ESRB existing doesn't already just cancel out any arguments that
It absolutely should.
Video games in general.
The thing
are just a
is,
scapegoat.
that it is. It's for bad
Yeah.
parenting. But also, parents generally don't care about violence. They care about sexual conduct in games more than actual violence.
Yeah,
Yeah.
until violence occurs in real life, then they realize, or then they start to think, oh, it's because of the video game.
obviously.
You like your kids start, I don't know, your kids start fighting a lot more. Oh, it's because I bought them all those violent video games. Like at the time, they didn't care. It's like, oh, blood, gore, violence, all that shit in this game. My kid could handle it. And then years down the line, that kid is just desensitized to a bunch of gore and shit, and they're just like, oh, the video games, they're corrupting my children. Oh, it's all a video game's fault. It's like, really?
Look,
Plays Farming Simulator for an hour. Father, I crave violence.
No, children are just bastards, just from the get-go. I'll say that now. I've heard stories from when my dad was growing up in the 50s, because he's old. They would go out and play in the woods. They were building death traps at a certain point.
Yeah.
Like actual dug a hole, put sticks in the ground beneath it to stab people who fell into it.
Yeah.
People were going to die if they didn't get taken out.
Father is a murderer.
When my dad was growing when my dad was growing up, there were toys called lawn darts, which were just giant fucking metal darts that you threw at each other.
Let me ask you. Let me
Jesus.
ask you this, Jacob. Which video game caused your father to build these death traps? There must be one.
I'm gonna
Tetris.
I'm going to say it's Halo because that was the first game he bought for us when I was 7.
Hey, that was like one of the first games my dad ever bought for me when I was a kid.
Be fair? We were told, oh, it has colored blood. It's fine. Oh, okay. After playing through it, I think it took me like, me and my brother took like almost a year to get through Halo 1.
Jesus.
And then Halo 2 took us a few
Was that-
days.
Now, was
to
this
get
because you
through.
were on and off of it, or was it because this was just like this was the year? Like it was nothing but every day we tried to beat whatever the first level of Halo was, and we couldn't do it.
Oh, we
But
were
we
just
couldn't
terrible because
do
we were
it.
kids with we were kids with very little hand-eye
that's fair.
coordination.
And I say 7 and 9
Yeah,
years
fair
old,
enough.
yeah.
I was gonna say we finally beat the Pillar of Autumn on easy.
Oh, God.
I don't like that level. After doing that, we said no, we don't ever want to do that again. So there was a particular level. I think it was the third or fourth level. That was the ice level in Halo 1. We played that mission over and over and over again, just trying to steal the Banshees. We did it a lot. We got really good at it. Then Halo 2 was the game we played. Once we got that, we beat the main story within a few days. and then we played that game so much. We never had the online. We would go into multiplayer and do all the glitches in the game because that was really fun. Because you could just make a tank a helicopter.
You little shits.
That's all we would do. It's just a fun time. Halo 2 is probably one of the games I put the most hours into. Probably rivaling Monster Hunter and now Final Fantasy 14. Probably Monster Hunter still at the highest.
That's fair.
Because last I checked, I'm sitting on 800 hours.
What was the other fucking thing? Oh, right. This is one for Steven, because you played this series more than any of us, I think. There's a Borderlands spin-off coming up that is based off of the Borderlands 2 DLC, Assault on Dragon Keep.
Oh yeah, the Tiny Tina game.
Games. So it's gonna.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
there's a spin-off? I didn't know there's
there's a spin-off coming out.
Yeah.
It's called Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. I totally forgot this was coming out, honestly, but
they announced it before.
But it's based
E3.
off of Bunkers and Badasses, according to this article, i.e., Dungeons and Dragons. I am all about this. I am buying this the second it comes out. If this is just Dungeons and Dragons, but like in Space World, I'm totally fucking on board.
Did you ever play Dragon's Keep or whatever it was called, Dungeons?
No, I didn't. I haven't played a lot of the Borderlands games. I played like
wait, hold on. We were playing it and then we just all stopped.
Yeah, we all stopped for a reason.
We need to go back and play
We do, because like
probably not right now because I'm doing Final Fantasy 14.
That's true, and I'm tailing behind you.
I was gonna say I've probably played more Borderlands than
you have? Well,
Jacob definitely plays
my definite apologies.
Because
I will say this though,
I put way too much time into 2.
Fucking Tiny Tina was like one of the most was one of the best parts of Borderlands 2. She was like kind of the emotional anchor when it came to like, you know, Roland's death and everything. And then they just didn't use her for Borderlands 3. Her and Brick and Mordecai are in like one mission, and then you get a couple of side missions with them. Can I just say this? Borderlands 3 fucking blows, okay? The gunplay is
story
fantastic.
sucks.
Yeah, the story is
Its
horrible.
actual gameplay is fantastic. Its story is terrible.
Yeah, the story's terrible. I hate it. Like I almost felt betrayed, you know what I mean? Because like I played the first game, I played the second game, played the pre-sequel. I watched people play Into the Borderlands or the Telltale stuff.
Fucking shit! I played this.
Tales of the Borderlands.
That was a good game.
Tales
I
of the
like that game.
Which that one,
it's just like
Borderlands 3 just felt like a cameo game.
But
Less than an actual game.
See and play all those other games, and you're like, wow, this world is great. It's fantastic. I love all these characters. And then you get to the third game, and it feels like, because I'm pretty sure I'm almost positive it was a completely different team that did Borderlands 3, completely different writers and everything.
Essentially, it's you get up to the game, it's just like, wow, all that led up to this.
Yeah, it felt like somebody new came in, saw everything that was in front of them, and was like, I want to make this my own. Rather than trying to make the fans happy, you just, I don't know.
I have 2 major complaints with the story there. Whoever the child brat that shows up is, I do not care for her.
Yeah, no, she sucks.
That's basically a very overwhelming complaint with that. And the other thing is, I don't like how it focuses on Lilith more than any one other character in the game.
Yeah, that I don't like the villains. The villain, what I can't fucking remember their names.
The Calypso twins, which I could live or take with them. I don't care for them, honestly.
No, I thought they were fucking annoying.
But then again, no one's gonna up Handsome Jack. He's too good. That was a really fantastic villain.
Yeah, I think that was
I didn't want them to take that over.
Yeah, I didn't
expect them to. So my expectations were next to nothing.
I didn't want to compare them to Jack, but it's hard to go from one of the greatest villains in any video game ever to these two things that are like.
It seems like, to be fair, I never played the game, but it seemed like from the trailers they were trying to make them Handsome Jack, but like they tried to make them.
Well, they just made them like snarky, you know. Oh, we're hip, we're young, we're kids, we're smug, we're basically all of Handsome Jack's qualities, but on younger.
Yeah, so they tried
characters.
to make they tried to
Made
make
them
two younger
streamers.
handsome Jacks that
I don't think they try to make them like Handsome Jack. I think they just kind of like tried to emulate a little bit of him into them, so that because I felt like maybe they thought they would connect to a younger audience, which maybe they did. I'm not the younger audience that they were going for. If that was the case, I definitely saw both of them and was just like I don't hate them in a sense that I think that they're really good characters and they're doing a really good job at making me hate them. I think that the writing is just so ungodly bad that I just can't stand listening to them. Like when I played through Borderlands 3, I had to mute the game every fucking time they came on and started speaking because you couldn't. I think there were a few scenes you couldn't skip with them.
You couldn't skip cutscenes at
Yeah,
all in that
yeah.
game.
So I just literally couldn't skip anything. So I had to listen. It's like I don't want to listen to you. Like I'm so out of the game every time they start to speak. And then you finally kill them, and their boss fights are fucking stupid and lame. It just reminded me of the first fucking. I guess to be fair, the Guardian boss fight in Borderlands 2 isn't that great either. I don't think any of the end game boss fights are that great. It's usually the raids later on in the DLC are pretty good.
Yeah,
So-
the boss fights are meant to be easy. You can farm them.
I hate
What?
I hate to interrupt you guys. I love listening to you guys ramble on about Borderlands. We need to start wrapping this up.
Fuck off. We're keeping going.
Oh, no, yeah, we are at about an hour and 15, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's at the hour.
Let me tell a little
14,
story
36
before we
Yeah.
go. A couple of years back, we all went to Lake Whitney together, which is in Waco. There's a big group,
Oh,
big group of
God.
us. It was we planned it out and it was pretty good. We had like 3 tents, I believe. We were all gonna share. We had brought breakfast and like a little thing to make breakfast on or whatever. And it was really fun. We went out to the lake and they noticed that there were cliffs that we could jump off of. It's like, oh, okay, we'll go jump off some cliffs. The walk
God.
there was petrifying because I am scared of heights, incredibly scared of heights. So I'm like crying and holding on to people as we're walking along it was like we were in an adventure game, right? You had like the path up to the cliff was like 2 feet wide. It was not very big at all. It's a little wider than my keyboard is right now. And my, big 230-pound frame is like trying to walk in that. And there are other people walking towards us to get past us. And it's like, oh shit. Well, we're going to have to go around them. Which one of us is going to be facing the lake and which is going to face the wall? I don't know. So we get there, get all the way up to the top. We see people jumping off, having the time of their lives. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, this will be great. This will be cool. This will be one for the record books. And there was some guy up there telling me how to jump off because I've never jumped off a cliff before. He's like, make sure you pencil. Do not belly flop. It'll be the last belly flop you ever do. So it's like, all right, cool. I'm going to do it. I'm going to jump. It's going to be the greatest thing ever. It's going to be like the best story ever to tell anyone. Jump off, go to penciled the wrong way, ended up getting my asshole completely shattered by the water. I'd never had an enema up to this point, but I assume this is what it feels like. Especially if you go in with no lube whatsoever. I couldn't feel my legs from my waist down was completely numb, and I'm just in the water like drowning, and there's people jumping in after me. And none of them are trying to save me. I'm just screaming of like, help me, please, someone help. And no one's helping me. They're all just like, oh, hey, look, hey, Steven, he's waving to us. Look, he's using both hands to wave to us. That's crazy. He's such a good swimmer. How can he do that? I finally pulled myself up to this rock, and I'm laying there, and I pull my legs up to my chest, and I'm like in the fetal position and crying, and the lake is smoking a cigarette and telling me to clean myself up.
Was it good for you too,
Steven?
Okay, so
was
where's this going?
Nowhere. He was just telling a story.
Yeah, and then I look over,
got
and there are
there.
these 2 really hot college chicks just like on their little floaties, and they're staring at me. They're like, hey, are you okay? Like, no, I'm not. I both embarrassed myself and lost my manhood at the same time.
And then they had
I
sex with
can't
you.
get back to shore. I can't get back to shore on my own, and I had
Oh,
I had them
God.
help me
Oh.
swim back to shore.
All right. On that note, that was everything but the bagel. Hope everyone enjoyed listening.
Steven, where
you
did
can
that come
find
from?
That's a great question.
I'm sorry.
That's a
Also-
great
Before we get
question.
into
Also,
that,
a
where
quick-
did this come
A
from?
quick cap on this camping story. Later that night when we went back to the camping grounds, we all got into our tents. My tent was the coolest because we all started watching porn together.
not just any porn, tentacle
Yes, we were watching
hentai.
tentacle hentai, and then everybody in the other tents was like, "What the fuck is that? Are we hearing porn right now?" And they come over to our tent. And it's like, "Yeah, this tent ain't big enough for the 8 of us." And they're like, "You sure about that?" We all got in and just kind of, we all fucked.
Steven,
All right,
that's
the
the end
end.
of the
That's the end
podcast.
of
Good
the
night,
podcast.
everybody.
You can find our podcasts on Anchor, let's see, Spotify, Radio Public, Pocket Casts, and Breaker. So thanks for listening, everyone. Hope you guys have a great night, and thank you again.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.